Okay, so today, guys, we are back with another episode of Punt or No Punt, and today I am joined by the one and only Lukas Robinson, aka RobinPoker. How you doing, lad?
Good, lads. Liverpool top of the league, gonna win the treble. I'm good.
Yeah, well, we're not going to do what we did on your podcast, which was talk about that for 2 hours, or as much as I would love to. We're actually going to do the first ever tournament punt or no punt. I have never done one of these before. Lukas, you already know this, but the reason we haven't done one of those before is not only because my channel is a cash game channel, it's because I haven't got a fucking clue what is going on in tournaments. So you'll be able to help me out through this. But first of all, you're Lukas Robinson. Obviously, you've been around. People know who you are. If they don't know who you are, would you like to introduce yourself? What are you getting up to? What kind of things do you do on your stream, YouTube, Instagram, all that?
Yeah, sure. So I am Lukas Robinson, aka RobinPoker. Get that off, obviously, my surname. Been streaming and been playing poker now full time for about 4 years. I am sponsored by Poker News and we work with 888 as one of our partnered sites. So I do stream on 888 Poker exclusively 4 times a week. Haven't attended the live event yet, but Eastie keeps.
Come on, lad.
They have one in Liverpool this year, so it's got to be done.
If you don't come to that, what's the point of you, really?
Yeah. Exactly. So hopefully get to my first 888 live events this year. And I, like Eastie said, I mostly do tournaments. I fucking hate cash games, to be honest. So that's why I don't play cash. And yeah, we've done a couple of dual streams in the past with the Poker News and 888 do a collab where they do the Poker News online championships. And we've obviously done a couple of dual streams in the past for that, for the main event. So that runs probably around about twice a year. So, which is a really fun series, which I stream. But yeah, you find me mostly on Twitch. Do YouTube content and do short form content on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff, but my handle on everything's RobinPoker. So yeah, if you want to drop a follow, that'd be great.
All the links to Lukas will be down below. I will also link you to the podcast that me and him did. It was about 2.5 hours of us just like waxing lyrical about Liverpool Football Club. So
yeah, if you're a United fan or like
make sure you watch it if you are. We do both have I have a blue-red shirt on today, and Lukas has got a very nice little 1985 number there. Winners. Beautiful shirt. We're both big fans of our shirt collections. Anyway, we've got 5 hands. The rules. We're playing punt or no punt. I get distracted. The rules are the contestant today, it's Lukas, will bring on 5 hands. Now, I always say a disclaimer here, guys. I will decide whether the hand is a punt or no punt because it's my show. Even though I have honestly not even a Scooby-Doo what is going on here. He's going to lead me. Probably he's going to win because he's going to make it sound like everything he's doing is really good. Hopefully I've got some sort of intuition that I can draw from the many live tournaments that I've dusted off. But yeah, I haven't seen any of these hands before. Lukas, you happy the integrity of the game hasn't been violated? I haven't looked at these before.
No, you have not.
Perfect. Well, without further ado, we've got 7-6 of clubs and it's tournament punt or no punt with Lukas Robinson. Are you ready, lad?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, hand number 1. Tournament punt or no punt. What the fuck am I going to do here? What do you mean ICM? What's going on here? I've never seen this before in my entire life. Right. We are playing I believe it's a $330 something or other.
Must be 320. Okay. Must be like the 320 big shot, I think.
Okay, the 320 big shot. All these hands are from 888 Poker, guys. And we're opening up to 2 big blinds. Oh, can I put it in big blinds? Is that all right?
Yeah, big blinds. Yeah, I prefer anyway.
Let's put it in big blinds. I've got no idea. Okay, this is. I feel actually much safer already. Right, and we get a 3-bet from In the And. And it folds back to us. Now, 40 big blinds deep. I guess maybe you don't remember how far from... Does it matter how far from the money you are here? I don't know what questions to ask, to be honest. What are you thinking here at the moment? Out of position, 3-bet pot.
I think it's pretty early on because everyone's pretty deep.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, I've lost, I think this is the chip leads are obviously on the table and we're a bit shorter, but yeah, so I don't think there's any ICM involved. That's kind of all I know about this.
So appealing because... we've got 7-6 suited.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that you could fold this pre is if you're playing against like a super net here that just doesn't 3-bet enough and doesn't have 3-bet folds. But I think this guy's a reg. I don't know. I don't really play against them that often. I don't remember any tags, so I'm just going to go off the basis. How I go off the basis in terms of pre-flop, if I don't know any information, I'll just go to like GTO ranges of what I've studied. So 7-6 suited here just performs well versus the 3-bet range in general. So yeah, always just flan here. Yeah.
So in cash games, obviously we're paying rake. So as soon as we call, we're like already sacrificing a portion of the pot. So in here, we're not paying rake. I can't imagine folding this hand if I'm not paying rake. So if we go to the flop,
as well.
Yeah, 9-8-8 rainbow, and I imagine we will only be checking. And we see a small bet So yeah, the bet sizes, I guess, are going to be a lot smaller than what I'm used to. Although this is probably fine, even in my situations. I'm already like not particularly happy. I don't want to fold, obviously, but like continuing is obviously mandatory. In what fashion, would you like to continue here?
So this board, I think, is better for us than them. I think we flat a decent amount of 8x, a lot more 8x than they do, than they 3-bet. Again, it all depends. Like, some people are never going to 3-bet 8x here. A lot of people just flat, like 8-7 suited, ace-8 suited, king-8 suited. Some people just fold, like stuff like queen-8 and king-8 and stuff suited, whether some regs are going to use that as 3-bet bluffs. The suited 8x here in this spot, because it folds out a decent amount of our like suited 9x that we open pre.
Okay.
But obviously they've got all the top of the range, which we haven't got. So like obviously aces, kings, queens, jacks that perform decent on this flop. So, this hand would never ever be folding. Obviously on the flop, I think it's probably close between raise and call. I think this is a nice check raise candidate in terms of obviously having a backdoor flush. Open ender. Like I said, we have a lot more 8x. I think if we had like 9x with this, that with a lot of 9x, we'd want to like maybe check raise and protect our hands. So, but I think problem is by check raising this, I think what you see here is it goes pretty polarized. So it like check raises top and then bottom. So like you'd maybe want to use something like with a gut shot and a backdoor flush instead. Yeah. Because let's say you raise this and then get jammed on. Which,
you can't call.
Shouldn't really be a thing. It's like just a shit spot. So yeah, I think calling here I prefer.
Yep. I can't disagree with anything you said there. Call I like. 7 of hearts on the turn. I don't think we'll be doing any donking. I think that they'd just have a little bit too much like Jack 10. I don't see why we'd have an advantage in that. Although we probably just do have Jack 10 at the same frequency. Maybe 7s. Both players probably have that as well. So I don't think it changes enough for us for it to be donking. So we're going to go for check and they're going to go for another small bet. Ugh. Guys, dicey already though, isn't it?
It's a shit spot.
Any folders? Any folders about? Can't fold it, haven't we? Because we've got a 6. But like...
I think if we didn't turn this pair... I think then probably even to the size though. I just don't think ever folding to this size with an open ender. But so I know that's close even with an open ender. But then obviously now we turn the pair. We have more outs versus like top of their range.
It feels like we're dead a lot, like quite dead, but like not.
Do you think they 3-bet Jack 10 suited Brie?
I'm not dead a lot, I guess. I don't know, mate. This is the problem. I would 3-bet Jackson. But I know there's a lot of flatting. There's not a lot of flatting in my games because there's rake. So like, I know they're going to have Jack 10 suited here pure in my games. But I guess flatting in these situations is very, very reasonable with Jack 10 suited. Whereas you're always going to have Jack 10 suited because you'll always open it and then always call. So I guess I need to branch myself out a little bit more. But I guess we just have to call and like just hope we get like check or hit a 5. I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's a close one.
We do call. We river a straight. Just wondering about donking here. I don't think we do get to donk here, do we? What do you think?
So this is what is a tough one. So obviously we now beat all of their aces, kings, queens. We don't beat jacks. I obviously play this way exactly in their spot. Obviously we've got the lowest straight. Any jack in their spot is a straight. But then when trying to think about what Jack X they've actually got, that 3-bet pre, like
Jack 10.
Jack, yeah, like jacks, yeah, makes sense. So they do have a decent amount of Jack X, but then in terms of like boats here,
many.
I thought that we have more boats than them because I don't think they 3-bet pre with 7s, with 8s, with maybe 9s. I guess 10s gets there now as well. Obviously we have a lot more 6x. They shouldn't have any 6x in their range, and we can like 7-6 suited, 6-5 suited, a6 suited. I guess if they're 3-betting like pre with a6 suited, but a lot of people just flat that. So it's a tough one here because it's like I always find in these spots it's like check and then we get jammed on. It's like just hating our life.
I hate my life like full stop here. The problem I have with donking, like I think you'd have to donk small and then probably fold or something like that. I don't see much merit to shoving. I don't actually think you're going to get called like in this spot by worse ever. So if you're going to donk, I'd prefer small, but I'd maybe check. We are donk for shove. Okay. So I always give my verdict usually before seeing the hand, but I thought you might check or block. you have shoved, and based on what I've said, I can't in very good faith give you anything but a punt. It feels harsh, but I do think that when we shove here, they fold. Like they're going to fold queens through aces, I think. I mean, we look how hard we smack the tits off this board. Like, and I'm just not convinced we get to like this card is good enough for us to be doing this. Like, they're going to have like maybe king jack, ace jack, queen jack of hearts, although they may check that back sometimes. They may barrel some random jack X on turn as well. Yeah, I think this is probably too thin. You think that's fair?
Yeah. Looking back on this, I think I remember in game thinking that they've not got like much jack X, and then we're gonna get called by queens, jacks, queens, aces, kings, queens, but we're just not like
no.
I made on the FT of the Poker News main recently. I made a similar very thin value jam in this spot, in a similar spot, and like. I just need to stop it. I think it's
calm the fuck down.
I think it's mostly when I'm like out of position.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm going, right, this is easier to play by donk jamming rather than checking and just hating my life and not knowing what to do. But yeah. I just think in this spot, it's like we just check fold, because like I think why I jam in this spot mostly is they're trying to get value from aces, kings, queens, because they're never going to be jamming river with them hands. But it's just too thin.
I'd much rather block if that's your plan. I think block performs really quite reasonably, but I think shove. I think here we just take the pot, or we lose our tournament life, and I guess we lose our tournament life because I don't think you get. I mean, was this a snap call? Yeah. Okay, so whatever. Like. Yeah, and probably they just have a little bit too much of this going on. I mean, they did bet twice. Like, it's either going to be something like this, 10s, 9s, jacks, jack 10, or it's going to be like queens plus. And then I think queens plus just folds, and I think this always obviously all just calls. So, yeah, punt. 1-0 to the punts, Lucas. It doesn't mean it's over. You've got 4 more hands to get through. You feeling okay, lad?
I remember in this spot as well, just quickly thinking that like I was so surprised seeing Jack 10 suited here, but like I 3-bet Jack 10 suited here, and I assumed population just don't. But that's why I thought I think he was a reg. Because I think I do see population too much flatten here with these hands when they just play really good as 3-bets, especially when you like hijack, because this is better to flat on the button when you're guaranteed to be playing in position, but you're not guaranteed to be playing in position here because you've got the cut off on the button to play. And then if you get squeezed with this hand, it's just shit pre-flop. So yeah, I really like the way they played it. I really hate the way I played it. So yeah, that's why I included this hand.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, 1-0 to punts. Imagine coming on the Cash Game channel and like complaining about someone 3-betting Jack 10 suited. You're not going to get many sympathy votes from my chat here. No.
That's why tournaments is, like I always say, is harder, because like there's ICM, but then there's like probably half the time you're getting people 3-betting this, half the time you're not. If you know 100% that someone's going to be 3-betting here, which is probably obviously mostly a thing in cash, then it's I wouldn't have played it this way. But I just remember seeing the call and going, I thought they were just going to have too many overpairs and like not enough boats and not enough straights. And then, just thinking, oh shit, I proper punted this hand.
I think this is definitely a punt, yeah. Let's take hand number 2 so we can level the scores up. All right. Hand number 2, ace-8 of diamonds. Lucas down 1-0, unlike the Reds. Well, we were at the weekend.
We were, yeah.
Turned it down.
Hopefully you can pull it back 3-1 like the Reds the other
day. Right. We flat the ace-8 of diamonds. Seems fine. Going to be a lot of flatting going on that I'm not used to, so I need to just get over that. We got Nubier opening up. Do we need to check whether this is a PKO or not, just in case?
Maybe yes. I don't think it is.
It's not a PKO.
No.
Okay, so we look like we might be fairly early on. I know Svinth. It's a shame we're not playing with him. He bum hunts me a lot. Top pair. Get checked from big blind, and I expect a range check here. I would range check here. You?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So, but even still, like, even though we know they've got all their very strong hands here still, our hand, like, it just doesn't really get better than this. So I really don't think we should do anything but bet. But I'm very concerned about getting check raised, obviously. But I think betting here is just probably best. You think that's fair?
Yeah. Yeah, I think betting. But it's whether you want to be betting small or big. I think this is a board where you're just gonna have big bets. To be honest, even playing 30 big blinds deep.
Yep.
One, obviously our hand's strong enough to bet, like you said. Two, we need a lot of protection. And three, even though we're playing in position, but it's just a board that if we are going to be betting, we even with set C, you need a lot of protection, right? So I think mostly if we're going to be betting, going to be using a bigger size here.
Yeah. We see call from the big blind, which they're going to have a lot of. They're going to have like a lot of like 4, 5, 6, 7, even offsuit 8, 7, 9, 7. So I just think it's fair to say we're still probably ahead most of the time of this range, especially because we don't see check raise. So like I imagine 6-4 and 4s and 6s would check raise 8-6. So I'm feeling fairly confident like most of the time here. This is as a result a very, very bad card just because of the range that I've just described. So I've been looking to go check, but I would not be surprised to see donk, and we do see donk.
Just to give context, big blinds, they're very. I don't want to. They're a good friend. I don't know whether they want me to share. Well, I don't know whether they share their 8-8 name, but they are an EPT winner. Just to let you know. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm not surprised to see them find this then. Okay, so I imagine that you're saying that to try and justify some sort of cooldown because they're going to find like range donk here or something. Is that right?
Just when you're like they should donk here. Like I think most people probably don't find this, but very good players are because of what you've just said. Then in terms of like this. Changes the equity where we don't have much 5x and obviously they do. So
I agree with you, but I think such a large chunk of their range is made up of 5x and like 2-pair on this turn that I just think that even though they're a really good player, like we've bet half pot after it's checked to us and they've called with someone behind who should be playing range check. So it's not like they just have like fucking queen jack off or something. Do you know what I mean? Like they can't have that. So even though they're very, very capable, they're probably just getting here with just like an inf amount of like 2-pair straights and stuff. So I'm probably gonna like cycle, but like hating this a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was again just similar to last hand where it's like when you feel that in your stomach, that uncomfortable, it's like then this playing against good players, this is what makes you better poker player.
Yeah. So we call, which I think is reasonable, but I honestly wouldn't mind fold. Deuce river, classic deuce river, and we see shove. I mean, obviously the deuce changes nothing. My problem with the fact that the deuce changes nothing is that it changes nothing. And this guy, like, if he were bluffing, this would be like the nut low card to probably bluff on. Like, for a human being, I suppose. Like, it's like, oh God, they called the turn. Although they did bet small, so it's like they do keep a lot of your hands in and then pot shoves, probably extracting quite a few folds, even still from those turn calls. So, I mean, I really don't want to call, but like, what are you hoping to find here in this line when it goes check, you bet, half pot, they call, and they donk the, like, what kind of hands, like, because obviously I'm pretty sheltered to this stuff. What kind of hands are you expecting a reg to show up with that bluffs this spot? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think a reg's going to know that obviously bluffing spade isn't good, but there may be certain hands that they turn into a bluff that such as like, it's so hard to actually on this run out.
I can't think of anything.
They'd have to turn like pairs into bluffs, so like a 4x with a spade or like 6x with a spade that blocks like maybe like
10-6,
6-9.
Yeah, 10-6, 6-9, yeah.
Like so them type of hands that block the straight and then block basically the 2 pairs and sets, which I thought they're capable of. I think and the problem is with this spot in these type of spots, there's good players. And like when you actually think about what better hands have we got to call here, we don't have over pairs. We don't have many 2 pairs. We obviously have straights. We don't flat that much 5x pre. So I think this is why in this hand I'm always like, right, this is close to top of the range, and they're gonna have bluffs. But I think and I'm getting better at this spot. I think even in this spot, bear in mind we're going multi-way on the flop. Bear in mind they've donked 10, and now like you said, it's a blank on the river. In my head, I'm like, he's an EPT winner. He's a very good player. I do just think people are human and they're probably not going to find the right amount of bluffs in this spot to make this justify a call.
I think I think it's a fair enough point to make. Like, yeah, EPT win a super strong reg, we need to like make sure but like, I still just don't see what he can have here. That's like yes, if he did have 6-9 or 6 or 10-6 or something, he's going to probably have to bluff that. But like, he just this just board is just absolutely smack daddy doodah all over him, and I just think we have better hands to call with than this. Like, yeah, we probably have some 10-9. We definitely have pocket 5s, 4-5, 6-5. I just don't think we need to call here.
No, I agree. And also, like, I think them hands are talked about in terms of they turn into a bluff. They probably even just check that because maybe we just like don't bluff enough spades here and they just show down and just win it like some portion of the time.
Yeah, true.
I do play a decent amount of spades like this where I have to go on the turn and then we like blank on the river and we do have to turn spades into a bluff. I think if there was a missed straight draw, an obvious missed straight draw, I think then people fan them a lot more than they do the missed flush draws in terms of bluffing. But yeah, I just don't think even a good reg is going to have enough bluffs here.
They just have so much, like, they have even like offsuit 4-5, 6-5, 8-5 suited, 7-5 suited. Yeah, it's just too many hands, I think. I think we just have to fold. I'm going to go with punt. We're 2-0 down, Lucas. It's a rough spot. I don't think the Reds have been 2-0 down this year. I don't think has it happened? Don't think so.
No.
Don't think it has, off the top of my head. So this is uncharted territory for you. We do call it off.
Yeah.
This is a punt, I believe. And yeah, I guess they just have a 5. Yeah. A 9-5, in fact. Yeah, there's just, I didn't even mention this. Like, there's just way too many 5s, I think, in this line, and not enough bluffs. So yeah, another punt, Lucas. Come on, lad. Let's pull one back. Come on. What we got next?
I know.
Let's take hand number 3.
Go on.
Okay, hand number 3. Lucas in desperate need of a comeback here. Istanbul
territory there. I know.
We're gonna flat the button with 7s. Looks good. Let's check if this is a PKO. I guess that's important, or it might not be. Don't know. Doesn't look like it is from my limited ability to check things. So this is a spot that we're heads up. So this is something I would flat. It's fairly deep. I guess I'm on board with the general dynamic of this hand. I can relate to it at least. We see bet. Is this not really like close to a fold? I kind of want to fold. Like, we don't have a clean 7. And we're just doing terribly against almost everything.
So I'm actually surprised I called this on the flop, but this is a spot I'm literally working with my coach right now where I basically overfold this spot a lot to small C bets.
Okay.
And basically don't fold pairs in this spot.
Okay.
Even without a club. So my general rule was with the club you call here, but you just, to this size, you just can't fold in position playing this deep. So yeah, good to see I called this. Yeah, in theory, you're not meant to fold this. But I was just, when I saw a king high ace high board with these lower pairs, I just was overfold massively. So if I wouldn't have obviously been working on the spot at this moment in time, this was one of my biggest leaks. So yeah, it's good to see that I called this.
Okay, 10 on the turn. When they range bet, we assume range bet on flop, they're still going to have a bunch of 10x. We will have a lot of 10x as well. As you said earlier, you're not always 3-betting Jack 10 suited. You probably have some Queen 10, 10 9, maybe some 10 8 suited. I'm not sure. So this is probably a pretty good card for us, especially when we don't raise the flop, because like we're going to have all of that 10x still. And they decide to bet again. God, this is pretty rough. What do you think about this?
So I think I had them labeled that they were a bit of a crazy player.
Okay.
Just to give context. So I think that's why I make the call on the flop as well. Mm-hmm. So obviously, like, a good player is going to know they can still value bet here with aces and king X. I don't think necessarily a crazy, like, non-pro is going to realize that, because we just have too much 10x. Like, we flat so much suited 10x here on the button and even offsuit 10x, stuff like ace 10 off, king 10 off and stuff. So like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are they betting to this size and why are they betting it when we have a lot more 10x? They're not going to be c-betting 10x on the flop. Like, they're just not. They shouldn't be.
Okay.
So yeah, because also we have a decent amount of king X as well. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was going to be a lot more like, I don't know, king jacks, the queen jacks, ace queen off, ace jack off, type hands, obviously clubs. I just thought there was a decent amount of hands that we are still ahead of, that we, to this size specifically. I think if they go big here, I think then it's going to be an easier fold. But I see a lot of this size on the 10 where it's kind of like people try and buy themselves like a cheap river card with a draw. I don't know if you see the same in cash.
Yeah, this is not really a size that you'd see, I don't think, in cash. I like call now more than flop probably because like now our sevens are both clean, whereas before it was like one of them was a bit dutty. So I'm okay calling this sizing here. And yeah, like you said, like if they just have some queen jack, ace jack, then with a club as well, we're probably doing okay here. And certainly having 2 clean outs makes me feel better about calling.
Because even like 10x on the turn here, 10x still needs a lot of protection. There's flush draws and straight draws out there. Like, why bet this why bet this size with value? Like even like aces, yeah, you're scared about me having a 10x, but then again, I've got a decent amount of draws. King X you're getting value from, so why not go bigger? Like this size to me on the turn just didn't make any sense.
Okay. Then we see another river bet for like half pot. So my rule in general is I don't fold to half pot because we need to win here a quarter of the time, pretty much exactly. I'm surprised. The sizing is like slightly scary to me though, in this sense, because I want them to have like ace jack off here with a club, ace queen off with a club. Would they use this size? Is this like just like a cheap kind of like if they've got a 10, I save money when I bluff in, like kind of thing? What do you think this is? This half pot?
It's just. Yeah, it can be stuff like aces with a club here, like King X. But then it just something smells fishy with the size where it's like, if you've got a flush, I ruled out them having a flush here on the river because it's like, why bet this size with a flush when you like want to get value from a 10, a king, like lower flushes if you've got the nut flush. I didn't actually think as well they play it this way with a flush draw on the flop or the turn. Yeah, it was a confusing size and confusing spot. Obviously, our hand, if we delve deep in our hands, I think obviously having a club is better if we're going to be calling. We've obviously got a shit ton more better hands to call. But this is where I then kind of go away from theory and just go like, what's my gut telling me? Like, people talking about in terms of tells, like when someone's like, oh, you're a professional poker player, like, are you good at live tells? It's like, no, I mostly play online. It's like, well, how do you read people online? It's size and tells. Like that is the best tells that you can have. Yeah, the time and tells and size tells, and like just the, I don't know, spidey senses are kicking here on the river. It's like you don't really make that much sense with value, and I think you've got to be a very, very, very good player to go for value with a king, with aces, even with maybe a 10 to this size. Yeah. And also I ruled out them having 10x on the flop by c-bet and flop. So
yeah, I think I'm on board with calling here. As soon as I see half pot, I'm already like, okay, I need to win 1/4 of the time here. Like if I'm already ruling out maybe some king X, and if you're ruling out some 10x, and they don't bet the sizing with a flush, you're almost like running out of things that you could be value betting with here. And then if we think about the multitude of things that make sense, like I could expect them to do this with ace queen, ace jack, queen jack with a club. Pretty much like I think it makes sense to do that probably all the time. I'd expect something slightly different, something more in keeping with the value hand. It's almost like they're just trying to cheaply buy it. Like I'm probably never gonna, once I'm here, I'm probably not gonna ever fold to this size. Is my thought. So if we do call and don't shove or something, then I'm gonna go no punt. Doesn't mean we don't lose, but it does mean you're back in the game. Like, we found a goal just after half time. We found a goal. But do we get I'm hoping to see exactly ace jack offsuit with the club. Okay, if they're doing this as well with no club, I mean, this kind of makes more sense to me because like if you had a club, maybe you would size up, which is what concerned me a little bit. Like maybe it's just like some king jack of hearts, like dusty, trying to get a little bit more value. But like I don't think you can bet that on the river when you've called twice. So yeah, if they're doing this as well, they're just way overdoing it and they don't have probably enough value. So yeah, happy days. Pick one off.
That was my note on them as well, and that's why it's really important online just to make notes, because if you play multiple tables, which I am, like eight tables max, like it's hard to find these spots, but like it's easy to find it when you're on the river and you're like, I've got a fun player note on them, or I've got a note that they just bluff far too much. So
yeah, and if you've ever got those notes, then and you need to win a quarter of the time, calling your bluff catchers can probably never ever be bad. If it is bad, then it's like tiny, minute percentages one way.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually matter whether you have a club or not here, because the actual bluffs are going to come from they didn't even use a club here, but it's going to mostly come from these ace queens, queen jacks.
Yeah, I'm not asked to have a club here. Yeah, agreed. Right, 2-1, back in the game. We need the next one though to keep yourself in it. Let's go and take a look at hand number 4. All right, hand 4. Jack 7 of hearts. We're just going to check if this is, because you said there might be a PK in there somewhere. I don't know how to, honestly, not sure. Doesn't look like it.
It normally does show in the name, but yeah, we'll just do these, assume that the non-PK. It doesn't really matter post-flop anyway too much.
Keller 69. We've got just an NBC EPT winner as well. Hopefully they fold. Oh, they've called. Okay, so interesting. So we already know a little bit about this guy. We have Jackson of Hearts, and I guess we call as well. No reason to do anything else. Flop a flush draw, and we check to the button who c-bets. We see fold from our EPT winner, and I would like to just call. Any advance on just call?
Yeah, I think mostly call with this hand. I think if you're talking about check raising here, it's mostly going to be like top flush draws, so like maybe like 10x of hearts, or it'll be like bottom. So you'd use like Jack 2 suited here, Jack 3 suited type of combos. Okay. I think all this middle ones, I think mostly just want to call.
Okay, so we do call. The turn is a 7. We check again, and they 2/3 pot. So again, I can't see any reason to do anything but call, but you might disagree.
I think calling's fine, yeah. I think, let me ask you here, what would you be bluffing with here on the turn?
Oh, I don't bluff. Come on, mate.
if you're choosing
I don't
combos.
know, like probably... Oh, Jesus, I don't really know. I mean, yeah, like when one of my biggest weaknesses is I just don't look hard enough for turn check raises with non-nutty stuff. So... I mean, I guess it like makes a lot, like having a 7 is cool because I guess when you get called, you have maybe a Jack and a 7 and a heart that are all probably going to be good. Yeah, you make a good point when you say what you're going to bluff. I actually don't know. And I can't think of many better than this, I suppose. Do you want to make a case for it? Like, do you want to talk me through it in a bit more of a professional manner?
No, I think I probably don't find enough check raises here in terms of bluffs, and obviously that's a problem because when you're playing against the reg, which this is, you're just going to be far too nutted with check raising here to this size. So when you think about in terms of bluffing, you can use probably diamonds. You can use stuff like Queen Jack, but like you wanna basically unblock what hands you getting to fold by check raising this hand. I think it's decent to get stuff like, I don't know, maybe like Queen Jack to fold. I guess I know you're ahead of that, but it's so hard to realize your equity here on the river unless you obviously river a 7, even a Jack's pretty like horrible here, or a heart. So obviously we don't have many heart combos. Sorry, the bottom of our heart combos check raise flop anyway, and obviously we kind of want to put the bluffs that they've got that continue mostly on the 10 are going to be diamonds. So putting them in a bit of a shit spot, I think, is nice with this hand. And I think, it's I think it's super hard spot to find, which is why. And I also don't think that people check raise enough here in this spot with bluffs. And it's too much value. Right. It's too much just like sets here. Even like a lot of sets probably just check raise flop if I've got like 6s here on the flop. Obviously, we don't have kings and 10s. 8, 9, it's going to be too much of that, which makes sense to check raise because there's 2 flush draws. So I think in terms of like balancing here with the value, I think you using this. I thought in game this was a nice kind of
I really
use. Also, like when you talk in terms of like if we get jammed on here, this is probably fine to just fold as well. When
you're out of position, when you it's, I guess it matters a little bit less. I think when what I like about it a lot is that if I'm in a cash game here and I'm Keller and I bet 2/3 pot with like king, queen of clubs and they check raise, I just want to fucking snap fold. Like, because when you ask me, like, what do you want to bluff here? And I don't know, it means that it's under bluffed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not the litmus test for fucking finding bluffs, but I'm a human being, much like the rest of us, hopefully, that are playing this game. So if I can't automatically tell you what looks good to bluff, then it's probably under bluffed, right? Therefore, this is going to overperform because like, what do you do with king queen here? I think you just have to fold.
If you have aces here, with like an ace of hearts or ace of diamonds, like you're just hating your life.
Yeah, you absolutely hate your life. Even if you don't have hearts and you just hate your life. Your life is just awful. So yeah, I really like this find. So we just get the fold on the turn. I thought you were going to have to bang it in on the river. I thought you were going to have to bang it on the river.
I just thought it was an interesting spot on the turn because it's like very under bluff spot and. Yeah, I just felt like it was like, especially when we're multi-way in the flop on the turn, it seems like a board where it's easy to find bluffs. But I think it was more just, about asking you like what actually you're picking for bluffs here. I don't know. I'm not run this hand. I don't know what the solver would say.
I don't really give a shit what it says. Like, I think the main thing is that this is going to
I have a mate who's a really good MTT player online, and he basically talked about he worked with his coach, and he now picks spots to bluff where it's like, right, do people bluff in the spot and not enough? So,
This has got to be one of them.
To hear your opinion on whether this hand was,
I needed some encouragement. But I think the fact that I genuinely just was like, yeah, cool, makes this probably really good, because I think you get folds from so many things that have chunks of equity against you. And if that's true, then I don't think this can ever be bad. But that's what I love about punt or no punt, man, because I never look at the hands. I don't know what's coming. I don't think I've ever seen a turn fold on punt or no punt before, but it's the beauty of it is you can bring whatever you want to talk about. It's your competition. It is 2-2, by the way.
When I was going over the hand, it's like, this is an interesting spot. I know obviously it would have been more interesting if we got to a river and then I would have had to decide. But I think this is why it's a good bluff as well, though, because it's very easy to play rivers. If we river a heart, we're just all in. If we river a 7, we're just all in. And then if we brick, then we're just probably just folding. We're probably just like checking.
You just give up like on every okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, you're going to get away with that one, which means it's 2-2 heading into the final hand. Now, how are you feeling? We've got one more special hand.
This is a special one. I think we can do this as a bonus one as well.
Okay. Well, this is
a very special individual playing a hand against.
You can say that again.
Kind of like do you know, like on the live, like the live poker streams where they do like mystery hand.
Yeah.
So if we do a bonus on whether you think our opponent punted or no punted, then maybe we can have that as a little bonus.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Right. Let's go and take a look at what he's talking about. It's one of my very good friends and one of the worst poker players of all time. Let's go and have a look at what he's up to. Okay. So hand number 5, we're at 2-2. And we had to bring this one on because of who we've got in the big blind. It's Jack Mate of Happy Hour, Ace-8 Poker Cultural Ambassador. Nice and topical to get this one on. We open Queen Jack of Diamonds under the gun. Looks good. And we're going to go 3-way to a flop with Cosmo and Jack Mate. And the flop is Queen, Queen 6. You're going to be hard pressed to find me punting you for this, I think. We are going to go for check, which I think is absolutely fine. Like, I love checking out position multi-way. So especially because like Jack's probably going to have really easy decisions on flop. Because of what I know of Jack, I think he just will click all sorts of buttons. So if you give him opportunities to click more buttons, then that's probably good as well. Like if it checks through, then he might just randomly do stuff that's really bad on the turn. Whereas if you bet this flop, he could easily fold things like, say he had, I don't know, like a 6. He might bet the turn with a 6 when he's not supposed to, but he might. I don't really know. Basically,
it's letting them both of them catch up as well.
Yeah, sure.
Like we just, I know obviously it's easy to defend this flop as well. It's like easy to defend with a 6 or spades.
Yeah.
But like people don't defend enough like backdoor straight, backdoor flush here, especially from the big blind. So I think just once we've locked up the board, I think in general I do just multi-way play a lot of checks range when there's a in-position player as well. And if we were 100 big blinds deep here, maybe I do start trying to build a pot, but there's like 22 big blinds deep effective, so we don't need to. We can get that all in on the river easy.
8 of spades. And Jack goes for, this is classic Jack. Like, so this is probably not a card you want to bet this big on, but I don't know what this looks like, but the amount of times I've watched him play and he goes, well, I can't win. I'm just going to have to put money in, like stuff like this. You know, this is why I really like checking flop. He could have anything, in my opinion. And we see ace.
Disclaimer, I've not really saw Jack Mate play too often, so.
It is fun.
This is the first time I played against them. And this is in the 215 Poker News Online Championship main, by the way. So it's not like it's a...
Was he streaming this? He probably would have been. Yeah. Jack goes all in. The one thing I will say about Jack is that he's very, very scared. Very scared. Like he tries to fold. He'll like sit there tanking with like 50 big blinds with queens. He always thinks he's beat, like me. Like he's very, very scared. So when he bets here, like... I honestly, we're never folding. Like, we're never folding.
Well, I included this hand, right? And maybe we can do this about, instead of saying whether this, because obviously it's just an easy decision here. How about we do this? It's 2-2. If you guess his hand, like, not exactly, but in a similar ballpark, and I'll give you a similar ballpark, whether it's in terms of the type of hand, then you win. If you completely get it wrong, then I win.
Okay. So
I just couldn't.
You've turned the tables on this game. This is my game, and you've turned it on my head. I don't know what to do here.
It's just not fun to say whether this is a punt or no punt. You know,
no, it's not. He could just have queen 10 off. I imagine, based on what you're saying, that he doesn't have queen 10 off. So to win my own game, I need to guess what Jack Mate has here. So,
right, so let's do simple. So, do you think this is a value or a bluff in this spot?
I think it could be one of those hands where he could show me his hand and I wouldn't know whether he was bluffing or not.
I'm trying to make it simple for you to work out.
I think my instinct here is that he has something like ace 5 offsuit with not necessarily like with a spade. That's my instinct.
Yeah, I'm not. I actually can't remember exactly, but this is why it's fun.
Okay, so I think I am going to go with. I think I think he's got ace of spades, 5 of diamonds.
Okay, so you're saying that. So you're saying it's kind of in the ballpark of like value / bluff.
No, I don't think he. I think he will think it's a value bet, but he also won't know what to do once he gets here with an ace. Like, so he'll just bang it in because he thinks ace good, kind of thing. I mean, I've seen him bluff a lot. He's much more likely to fold than he is to not bluff. Like, if he was bluffing, then he could easily have like jack 10 offsuit with a spade and be bluffing here, but because he's like so wild and he's like, oh, I have to win the pot kind of thing. Like, you see a lot of recreationals just like, oh, I can't win now. I guess I've got to do this. Like, he doesn't even think about what you've got. He's just like, I have to do this. I can't win if I don't do this. So that's what one of my friends, Bean, says all the time. So
as a fun one quick as well, because it's a YouTube channel. Just quick, guys, before Easty says his and before we reveal, put in the comments what you think Jack's hand is.
Yeah.
If you had to guess one hand, just put what you think.
Right. So yeah, I'm going to go with ace 5 offsuit, but I imagine I'm wrong, and it could be just like some absolutely crap like pocket fours.
Well, so you're going to go with a pair plus a spade, but offsuit. So let's say it's completely wrong if it's no pair and it's a suited combo. Let's say.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going with a pair and a spade.
So Lucas has changed the rules of the game. Let's see if he can win. Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't really anywhere near that. Yeah, so I thought he might at least have a spade, but like I think when
I would give you it if it was like offsuit combo with the spade, like the jack 10.
Yeah.
I mean? Like if he was, but I thought it was, to be honest, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, I remember just being like, Jack, mate, what are you doing?
Jack, mate. Yeah, this is why on the flop I was like, yeah, I love check specifically against Jack, mate, because he just starts doing weird shit when he's got betting lead, like. The amount of times I've seen him just like start putting money in the pot because no one else did, and then just like randomly, like some of the like in the things we've done with Ace Poker, like he just randomly riffles everything off. So yeah,
if you had like King 9 off with the King of Spades, yeah, I don't hate it. Because,
no, it's
like,
all right.
I do think population do just oversee bet spades here in my spot and obviously the cut-off spot, and then the big blind's like gonna have a lot more flushes. So like I don't hate it, but yeah, this.
What would you do here with like Ace Jack?
What, in my shoes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm calling off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a pro like me is gonna know about reps and gonna know about gut feelings and go, nah, I do just think Jackmate's too wild. Like in this spot, even though I've not played with him too much, like he's just gonna have too many like offsuit combos with a spade here that bluff, or like stuff like 7-9 or whatever. And like if he's got a queen, he's just got a queen. Yeah. But then again, it might work against people that are playing scared money in this tournament, but obviously I'm not. So
I had a similar experience with Jack, mate. I played a $1,000 Ace State tournament. He opens button, I defend like Jack 7 of spades. I turn a flush and the river pairs the board, but it's Jack, mate. So I just shove after check raising turn. And he just has top boat for $1,000. I was just like, that isn't fair. He's supposed to have King 9 off. So yeah, that one was fucking brutal. Good to see that you're getting a lot off him though. There goes Jack, mate. Early night for Jack, mate. He needs to get an early bath, the lad. He likes.
I think this was his maybe his second bullet as well.
That makes sense. So, yeah. Well, I guess according to the rules that you made up during the middle of the competition, you have won 3-2. You've pulled it back Istanbul style, and that's probably the way it should be.
It just made it funner because you would have said no punt to me, and then I would have won anyway. So at least they give you a chance. But yeah, Jack May didn't give you any fucking chance.
No, I was never going to get. I mean, I could have. I was on the ballpark. Like, yes, he does random shit, but like, I just thought I would go my first instinct, but this is just obviously complete and total garbage.
But I thought it was a fun game because there's so many different categories of hands you could have said. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I could have said anything, and I probably could have had 10 guesses, and I wouldn't have got King 9 off.
This would have been the category of offsuit combo without a spade.
Yeah.
No pair.
Yeah, not getting that. Yeah. No. Right, lad. You've won. Let's go for a quick outro, and we'll wrap things up for the day. All right, that was Punt or No Punt with Lukas Robinson. Lucas, you've won 3-2. How does it feel? You made your own rules up as you went along, but you know, you still won.
It was the first MTT one you've done on the channel, and it was the first time you've ended it like that. I like to be someone that just not bends the rules, but like adds a bit of flavour into it. So yeah,
this is what I mean.
Istanbul, baby, we brought it back.
Look, Punt or No Punt is all about whatever. Like in the past, people have brought on hands. They're like, oh god, like there's just like showboating. They did all that. I think your first two hands were fucking dreadful, by the way. Just as it goes. Just on that topic.
Yeah. If you want to follow me, you'll see more ones like that. But again, I didn't want to just put hands in there that I'm like, no, like, oh, I'm amazing, or like run the spots before and go, no, according to the solver, that was actually correct.
Yeah, those ones go down the absolute worst when someone's already solved it and they bring on like winning hands or like plays that like justify themselves. Those ones always go to worst. Not naming any names, guys. The ones that go really well, obviously, are the ones that everyone's absolutely torpedoing everything off. But seeing Jack Mate dust it off and king that off is also.
Even though it did bend the rules, it did punt or no punt. It showed a punt.
It did, yeah. No, it's true. You can make it whatever you like, lad. That's what I love about. That's what I love about this show. I've been doing it for a long time now, and I've never had a hand curveball me like this at the end. And I enjoyed trying to get into the mind of Jack Mate. I don't really want to be in there for very long because he's a weird guy. But yeah, we'll see if we can hopefully get some clips of those, like what was going through Jack's mind. I'd love to hear that. So I'll get Dan to bang that in. But thanks a lot for coming on, lad. Quick little chat about the Reds. What do you think? End of season stuff?
I think we'll defo win the Prem. I think we'll definitely get the semi-final of the Champions League. Obviously, it depends how Real Madrid do. I think we'll definitely win the League Cup. So I reckon we'll definitely got a double. But then, we'll see about the Champions League. But either way, we're going to have a parade. Jürgen's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Hopefully you're there as well.
Get me in, lad, please.
Last little party in May.
I'm hoping. Well, I don't know when this will go out because it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. So your predictions may look stupid. But yeah, hopefully it all comes together for the lads and we get to celebrate something. I would like it to be, I think this may even go probably out before that. My birthday is April the 27th. Now, that won't mean anything to you, but we're playing Tottenham that day, and that's what Opta thinks is the day we're going to win the league. The last distinct memory I have of watching Liverpool on my birthday, it was April the 27th, 2014, against Chelsea at Anfield when Gerrard slipped. I need to omit that forever. It was the worst birthday ever. So I'm hoping that day is the day we win the league because it's obviously done. It's just a matter of when. And I really want it to be that day because I've been living with that for a very long time and it hurts. It hurts, man. Anyway.
Well, hopefully have a better birthday this year.
Yeah, cheers,
and like I said, I'll hopefully see you either at the parade or I'll definitely be at the 8-8 Poker Live event in Liverpool. So if anyone watching wants to get down, I don't know when it is. I think you'll know more. But September,
we'll both be there. We'll both be there, lad. Thanks a lot for bringing these hands on, man. I really appreciate it. And good luck to you. We'll catch you around soon. Up the fucking Reds, lad.
Up the Reds. Nice one, lad.
All the best.